as promised, is that conversation, Diaspora Connect Handbook 2019. I have two ladies who will help us understand and go through the Diaspora Connect Handbook 2019. I said if investment is something that you're key on locally and internationally, your product needs to be here. All right. So this is the two individuals that we'll be talking to. On my left, on my right rather, I have Peace Ambassador Grace Muiruri, and on my other side, I have Lorna Sempele. She is the CEO of Empiris. Ladies, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right, so our conversation is this right here.
Yes.
The Diaspora Connect Handbook 2019. I can see finance and banking, trade and commerce, diaspora, all these things, matters investment being showcased here.
Yes.
And it's empty, but the whole idea of it is to make sure that Kenyans locally and internationally can be advertising their businesses here. Lorna, help me understand and take us through.
Yes, okay, thank you so much for letting us come on your program today. We are very excited. This is a new and unique product. It's actually, you will not find any other book such as this one in the region currently, where it is easy to read, beautiful as you can see. It's going to be a coffee table type of booklet or handbook, hardcover with a beautiful jacket such as this one. And then you can see inside it's going to have non-cluster, beautiful, easy to read, easy on the eye adverts. Who will be advertising? It is investors here in Kenya who want to be known in the diaspora. That's why it's Diaspora Connect. And also investors in the diaspora who want to be known by Kenyans.
Also, even outside investors can also be part of this by advertising.
Yes, in fact, we are encouraging investors in all the 18 sectors. You'll see that, for example, it is going to cover agriculture, real estate, mining, hospitality, and so on. Any economic sector investor can actually invest by advertising in this book.
And this is the first kind of its own?
Yes, this is the first kind that's uniquely uniting investors from both sides.
Okay.
Yes,
so
we're really excited about it.
Right. One might be asking the costs of me to put my advert into this.
Okay. For example, in this rate card, we do mention this book is going to have a jacket, isn't it? So it's going to have a jacket and then that book itself. So on the jacket, there's going to be an inner section here, and in the back as well, an inner section. That's a different cost. The first few pages, as you know, when somebody opens a book to read something, the first few pages are the ones they see and focus on more. So the first few pages are a little bit more expensive. So for example, from page 8 to 25 will go for 1 million shillings. And that is actually not a lot of money if you consider it, because it's not a fleeting sort of publication like a newspaper. A newspaper, you'll pick it, read, and maybe that evening it'll be in some butchery packing up your meat because it's already gone for the day. So, but this is something that will be there for a full year. So 1 million shillings is not actually much when you consider visibility for a full year. Yes.
And let's talk a little bit about that, the importance, or rather why I should advertise there here vis-a-vis why I should advertise on TV or newspaper, which you've given a good example.
Yes.
So why as an investor should I bring my business here on the Diaspora Connect Handbook 2019?
Okay, firstly, one of the most important things about it is this is going to be disseminated and distributed in chambers of commerce and industry. If you see at the back here, we have the logo of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry that has endorsed this product. They're very excited about it. So try and imagine members of the chambers of commerce and industry in the whole country. That's 46 counties. And apart from Kenya, in the region and the world, we'll try and push this into chambers of commerce and industry. So this is going to raise the visibility of one investor in so many different points of sale. Then it's going to be in embassies and airports. And then the members of the Kenya Diaspora Alliance, you can see here that they're one of the endorsers, will receive these copies. And members of the Kenya Diaspora Alliance are in 100 countries worldwide. So this gives you an opportunity to have millions of readers see your advert, not for one day, not for 2 days, for a whole year. They'll be having that book on coffee tables and receptions and waiting areas in those very strategic locations. So I would encourage any investor. This is your best bet for 2019, to be honest.
All right.
Yes.
Ambassador Grace, how has the response been?
Looking at the marketing bit of it, there's that need for diaspora and there's the gap to fill. So we find like real estate, people are asking. So when we come back home, where do we go to? They are used to a certain lifestyle, like a gated community with certain facilities.
And entities,
yes, they want to come back home to such a setup. And we can actually report that real estate is addressing such issues. You come back home, there's a swimming pool, there's amenities, there's a hospital. They're already picking up the trend to fill in the gap. So I might want to say the response is quite good. Diaspora is being addressed by so many people locally, and we are looking at now bringing the other international front to be on board all this. Yes.
Talk to me about the challenges that you have faced while trying to create this handbook that is bridging the diaspora and Kenyan investors.
Number one, being a publication that is a one-stop. People have expressed, and sometimes they tell us we want to correct you, and we say thank you very much, but we have it right the first time. So people say do the first one, then we come on board the second one, but we are telling them this first time, like for real estate, I like giving an example. For real estate, when you're on board this book, being the first time, it means you're reaching diaspora as the first person. So it is at the right, it's timely. And because diaspora has been asking, who do we invest in? Because there's so much in investment that they need to be diligent about. Like, who are the big players? What is affordable? What is the cost? What is in the market? We actually look into all these issues, articulate, and give them the information they want.
Right.
So we are saying we have it the right time.
All right.
Yes.
So Ambassador Grace, being an ambassador, I'm sure you've had a chance to talk and to interact a lot with Kenyans abroad. Are Kenyans abroad keen on investment back here at home?
Yes, they are. All they want is the right kind of investment, truthful investment, and something they can afford. And true to their word, it is happening. They're eager to come back home. They want to actually lift the economy, and they're working towards it. They believe in Kenya, and Kenya is homeland.
Right.
Yeah.
Lorna, is this targeted to a certain economy class? Because look at the things here, like you're saying, trade and commerce, energy and petrol, hospitality, finance and banking, agriculture, real estate. Not all Kenyans have the access of all of this. I mean, by the time you're entering into energy and petrol industry, you know, so is this specifically targeted for a certain demography? And can young people, because also young people seem to be the biggest population that we have in the country, can young people also take advantage of this?
Yes, they can. Maybe even before I respond to that, I could also mention, riding on the question that you asked Ambassador Grace of the diasporians, and are they interested in investing? You know, we have about 2.5 billion in remittances to Kenya, just from those in the diaspora. They are sending their money and trusting in their family and friends and colleagues to invest for them. And I think you have heard quite a number of stories of people investing in houses, getting photos sent to them of this beautiful piece of land, this nice house that's coming up from the foundation up to the top floor, and you know, maybe even pictures of it inside. And then they return after a few years, and there is no house. There's even no shamba. There is no house that was being built, and they've already come back for retirement. Maybe they've retired and come home thinking they're going to come into this palatial house because of the photos they were being sent. And this is very discouraging for most of the people in the diaspora, because they want something that's real. They want something that's trustworthy, isn't it?
Right.
So this is what we are trying to make sure is possible, because of connecting them directly with investors, investors to investors. So this is actually like a business-to-business platform where bona fide investors from this end are exposed and made visible to bona fide investors from the other end.
All right. Lorna, perhaps my last question is, because we need to wind up, would be, you've talked about how you Kenyans are promised all these things, and we've seen con men even here in Kenya, you know, dubious people, individuals. So how do you go about saving the businesses that are advertised here to make sure that they're credible, what they're offering, what they're selling, what they're telling Kenyans and the diaspora at large is genuine?
Yes. For example, one of the things we've been doing as we've been marketing to the investors is actually visiting their sites, visiting their offices and seeing what it is that they're talking about that they want to expose to the diasporians, so that we see, oh, it is actually in existence. It's a bona fide company. We have seen the sample houses, we've seen the plots of land. So most of them, we have done the due diligence to actually make sure it is right.
Ambassador Grace, could you add on that as your closing statement, how it is that the team is making sure that the people who are advertising here are genuine? Yes.
I keep telling investors that if you don't plan, you plan to fail. So what we've done for Diaspora Connect is to observe due diligence in terms of vetting who's coming on board, how credible are they, and I keep telling them, and it's a marketing phrase that I normally use, if you have to wink, wink in the open. Don't wink to a lady in the dark. So as you're winking in our handbook, calling for investors, we have to vet you before you come on board.
Fantastic. Thank you. Ladies, good luck with this project. It's fantastic, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
That was Peace Ambassador Grace Mwiruri, as well as Lorna Sempele, the CEO of Empress. The whole idea is to make sure that Kenyans and even non-Kenyans are able to advertise their business right here on the Diaspora Connect Handbook 2019. Again, if you're keen on investment, this is something you might want to take a look at. When we come back from this short commercial break, as we promised earlier at the beginning of the show, I'll be showing you body art, the talent behind it and what it takes. But first, let's take a breather. We'll be right back. You're watching Daybreak.